अरण्योर निहितो जातवेदा गर्भ इव सुब्रुतो गर्भिणीभिः दिवे दिव ईडयो जाग्रिवद्भिर् हविष्मद्भिर् मनुष्येभिरग्निः एतद्वैतत्. Such a wonderful mesmerizing shloka from Kathopanishad, I think Chaturthi Valli. Yamacharya is giving Brahma Vidya to Nachiketa. Yamacharya speaks about Almighty God, he speaks about Jivatma, he speaks about what happens after death, he speaks about how to attain that Almighty God, qualities of Almighty God, he covers various aspects there. And in this shloka also see what he says is Aranyor Nihito Jataveda. Jataveda means the fire. In the olden days there was no matchbox, there was no lighter and all. So for lighting the fire, they will use aranyo. Aranyo means we can say by creating friction. In one particular, there was a arani, kind of a samida. So by friction, they create a spark and then they create fire. Similarly, or they use chakmak pathar for creating fire. So here Yamacharya is giving an example that aranyor nihito. Nihito means invisible. Jataveda, the fire is invisible in the samida, but when you properly, with a proper technique, when you use the sticks, when you create friction in the stick, the Jataveda, the invisible Agni, will become visible. It will catch fire. So similarly, he says to Nachiketa, the Almighty God is also Jataveda. Almighty God is invisible. He is not visible in this universe. You cannot see Almighty God anywhere in the universe. You cannot see Almighty God also. You cannot believe that God is within you. So here Yamacharya is telling that just like we create fire out of arani, our patthar stone, we must put ourselves into hard work. We must do tapasya. By doing tapasya, then that Almighty God will get manifested within ourselves. This is one part. And further he says an important trait what an aspirant should have. He says Garbha iva subruto garbhini bihi. A pregnant woman, when she is pregnant, subruto means to protect. At any point of time, if you have seen a pregnant woman, or if you are a lady and you have a child, you would understand and you would be able to relate that at any point of time the mother who is pregnant, she will take care of her kid, the child. She will take care that that I should not sleep like this in this position, it will affect my kid. I should not do this activity, it will affect my pregnancy. I should be eating this kind of food, I should avoid this kind of oily food, fatty food. I should go for walking, because then my kid will be hale and healthy, etc. So she will subruto, she will take care of her the child inside the womb so much. So here Yamacharya is telling that similarly you must protect the Almighty God within you. See, Almighty God's name in the Vedas is Om. Om means sabki raksha karne wala. Almighty God is a protector of everybody. But then Yamacharya is telling a vichitra baat. He says that you must protect the Almighty God. Means what is the earth? So the meaning is, when you are doing tapasya like Aranyor Nihito, when you are doing hard work, you are not able to get the manifestation of Almighty. You are not able to realize Almighty God immediately. It's okay. But here he says, even then you must protect the jigyasa within you. You must protect that attitude that okay, I must realize Almighty God. You must protect that attitude. Just like a woman who is pregnant, she protects her child within the womb. Similarly, you must protect the Almighty God. You must not get deviated. Like when you are in corporate environment, when you are in the college, when you are in the school, when you are a brahmachari, he or she is a disciple of Acharya, but he or she goes to school, and the school environment is different. So although he has an Acharya, she has an Acharya, she might get deviated. Similarly, in the Grihastha ashrama, the husband is the disciple of an Acharya who is a Samadhist yogi, the wife is not, or vice versa. They might get deviated with relations, going to marriage, going to here, there. So they might not be able to protect the Almighty God. That means protect the quest for Almighty God. That I must realize Almighty God. I must come out of this birth and death cycle. They will probably forget it. And this is a live experience even to me, to all of you. Probably if you are a jigyasu, sometimes you can understand that why I am deviating, why I am doing something which is not supposed to be done, because the senses are so powerful. It will attract, the senses will get attracted towards the outside world. It does not want Almighty God. So here Yamacharya is saying to Nachiketa that you must protect the eagerness, you must protect the quest for Almighty God at any cost, just like a pregnant woman who is protecting her kid. And further he says, see, here he says an important thing, most important for all of us. Dive diva idayo. Pratidin. Dive diva means every day. Idayo means stuti. You must, how do you protect that? See, the pregnant woman can protect the child. She knows how to protect, but how do you protect that Almighty God? The eagerness of Almighty God, that I must realize Almighty God, I must remember Almighty God. He says a simple thing. He says, Dive diva idayo. He says that you must do stuti. Ida means to do stuti of that Almighty God. Stuti means praising the Almighty God, or speaking about that Almighty God who is the real Almighty God. Not speaking a quality of Almighty God that is not with him. For example, many people say that God can do anything. There was a comment in my previous one of my videos which I made 3 years back. Yesterday there was a guy who was commenting, you are talking bullshit. You are saying that God cannot do prana pratishtha in the idol, but you do not know God can do anything. He can do anything. He can do prana pratishtha in the idol. He was telling me. So this kind of when you do this kind of stuti, it is insulting Almighty God. God cannot do unscientific things. God cannot do things which are against his own nature. For example, God cannot tell lies. God cannot do injustice. God cannot give the result of my karma to you and your karma to me, because he is ever impartial. That we must understand. So God can do anything is not the right stuti. God will do right justice is the stuti. Similarly, we say Hiranyagarbha. God is Jyoti Swarup. Samavartatagre. He was the one who was present before the universe creation. Bhutasya jatah patireka asit. For this entire universe which is made of Panchabhuta, patireka asit. There is only one Pati, one Malik, one Lord of this entire universe. This is called a stuti. Speaking the quality of God as he is stuti. So he says, Yamacharya says, you must do everyday stuti of that Almighty God. When you do stuti, you will remember the qualities of Almighty God. When you do stuti again and again and again, the stuti, whatever you are doing of that Almighty God, will enter your blood. That means you will end up, my Acharya always says, you will end up in a situation like just like a smoker who cannot quit smoking, or a drugger who cannot quit the drug. He is addicted to drugs. Similarly, you will enter in a situation you cannot quit Agnihotra. You are unable to quit everyday name jap. You are unable to stop everyday yoga abhyas. You will get into that situation. Dive deva idayo. Very, very important. But further he says, who can do stuti of Almighty God? He says, Manushya behi. Animals cannot do stuti of Almighty God, Nachiketa. Only human beings can do stuti of Almighty God. So, if you are a human being, you have a genuine capability and capacity of doing stuti of Almighty God. Many people have this doubt that, see, I am a Shudra, I am a backward caste. How can I do chant Ved mantras? Yamacharya says, if you are a human being, you are eligible. There is no caste system in the Vedas. That we must understand. And he says, Jagrivadbhir Avishmadbhir. Most important words of this shloka is these two words, Jagrivadbhir. Who can do stuti of that Almighty God? Who can do protection of that Almighty God? Is Jagrivadbhir, one who is woken up. Like somebody was asking Lord Gautama Buddha that, what are you? Everybody asked him, who are you? One person asked him, what are you? Then Buddha liked that question very much. He did not reply to anybody. He replied to that person, I am awakened. I am Buddha. I am awakened. Why I am telling this word is Jagrivadbhi means to awaken. Matlab, we are sleeping. Suddenly, we are sleeping in the Kam, Krodh, Madlobh, Ahankar. We are sleeping in the Andhakar. Suddenly, by listening to the words of a Rishi, listening to the words of the Acharya, suddenly we wake up. When you go to Acharya's ashram, whenever you have an opportunity to visit a yogi, when you listen his pravachan, suddenly you will wake up. Seriously, you will wake up, because his pravachan will be so powerful that it will wake you up. So that's what here Yamacharya is telling Nachiketa, that Jagrivadbhir, a person who is waken up will do stuti. A person who is sleeping in Kam, Krodh, Madlobh, Ahankar can never do stuti. So waking up is very, very important. Jagrivadbhir. And also there is a Samveda mantra my Acharya always quotes. Yo jagar tamrichah kamayante. Yo jagar. Jaga means to wake up. So God says in the Ved mantra that if you wake up at 4 o'clock every day in the morning, and at 4 o'clock you tamrichah kamayanti, you are desiring to chant my name. You are desiring to do Veda Adhyayan in everyday morning. If you are waking up at 4 o'clock and you are doing Veda Adhyayan, you are doing name jap, you are doing Brahma Yajna, you are doing Deva Yajna, you are remembering Almighty God. You are not remembering business. You are not remembering corporate work. You are not remembering housework. You are not remembering bank balance. You are not remembering anything else. But if you wake up at 4 o'clock and remember that Almighty God from the Vedas, then you are Jagrivat. Then God says in the mantra, Aham tava sakke asmi, I am your friend. So this is Jagrivadbhir. Only people who have woken up from the sleep of sensual pleasures can do stuti. If you are doing stuti every day, for example, I do every day Agnihotra, but I do smoking, I do drinking, I do partying, I roam around with so many girlfriends, I don't care, but I have to do every day. Just I do Havan, but I do all the activities. Then I am not the person who is Jagrivadbhi. I am the worst of the worst person. My Acharya always says. Vyasmuni says in Mahabharata, one who listens Vedas, but does all the activities which are against Vedas is Nichon ka Nich. So if you are following the Vedic path, you can never do anti-Vedic activities. This is very, very important. So here Yamacharya says Jagrivadbhir. Then next he says the word Havishmadbhir. See, I don't know if you are doing everyday Agnihotra. Some of you might be doing. If you are doing Agnihotra, there is a mantra Kasmai Devaya Havisha Videma. In Yajurveda, there are many mantras which has this word Kasmai Devaya Havisha Videma. Havisha, Havishmadbhir. Why I am saying this mantra? Because the Havisha word is very, very important. Havisha word, if you go and listen Vedas from Acharya, even Maharishi Dayananda Saraswati has also written the meaning of Havisha very beautifully. Havisha, one of the meaning of Havisha is putting Havi in the burning fire. Havi means to put samagri, to put ghee, etc. That's only one aspect of Havisha. Havisha actually means with love, with affection. By doing yoga abhyas, you do yoga abhyas every day and then you do stuti. This is called as Havisha. Havisha Videma. Videma means Vishesh Bhakti. What is Vishesh? Every day doing stuti, every day doing yoga abhyas and with love and affection of Almighty God. Don't sit and chant Almighty God's name for formality. Okay, today also I have to chant. Can I get a break? Sometimes you get inside there will be a voice that today can I skip this yoga abhyas? Today can I skip this name jap? Today is it okay to skip the homa? I have gone through this when in the maybe 15 years back. I have gone through this phase that can I skip the evening Agnihotra? Can I skip the morning Agnihotra? Because something else is more important. But here Maharishi Dayananda Saraswati also says in his book, he says that Havisha means you giving the first priority to Almighty God. You are not giving Him last priority. For example, many people have this tendency, they wake up, they do all their activities. every day morning to evening at around until 10:30, 11 o'clock they do all the activities. At 11 o'clock they will say, okay, for 5 minutes let me do name jap. This is not Havisha. Havisha means giving the first priority to Almighty God. First Almighty God, then rest other things. This is Havisha. And also Havishmat means a person who is able or who is willing to sacrifice everything in this world for the sake of Almighty God is Havisha. Havishmat. That means like when you put ahuti in the burning fire, you are by open hands you are putting samagri. By open hands you are taking the ghee and you are putting the ghee fully. Similarly, are you ready to sacrifice everything for Almighty God? Then you are Havishmat Bir. Then your stuti is taken or is accepted by Almighty God. And also, one more classic example, I was listening to one Arya Samaji's long time back. He was telling a very beautiful example and I liked it so much. He was telling, see, you want to buy a flat. You are living in Bangalore, you want to buy a flat. The cost of the apartment is 1.5 crore rupees, for example. So what do? You have seen the flat, it's so beautiful, it's 1.5 crore rupees, you have some money. So you put your entire effort to earn the money in the business, in the office. You do overtime, you do multiple business, you invest on something so that you can get immediate return, so that you can buy the house. You will do everything to buy the house. Havishmat Bir means doing sadhana, you doing tapasya like this. And similarly, a student, he is a 12th standard guy, like I'm speaking about my times, 25 years back. So I was studying 12th standard. I prepare every day morning. I study. I prepare for the entrance exams, for the engineering exams. I have to get into IIT. I have to get into IIM. I have to get into IIT means I have to go for special coaching class. I have to spend 24/7 in studies. If I have to get, when I was studying, if I have to get a medical seat, free seat in a government college, because government college medical seat are very, very impossible to get for a there are like quota, caste quota, forward caste, etc. So if you are a forward caste, you cannot get a medical quota unless you score 100 out of 100 or 99.99 that point of time. Free seat. So my friends used to study like hell. They study like 20 hours a day. So here Havishmat Bir means, are you able to sacrifice your time, sacrifice whatever you have with Atma, with Man, Buddhi, Atma, focused on Almighty God. Then Yamacharya says, Etad Vaitat, Agnihi Etad Vaitat. Then you can realize that Almighty God. Then you have a very genuine opportunity to realize that Almighty God. Then you can know who is that Almighty God. Otherwise, if you are doing formality with Almighty God, my Acharya always says, okay, you cannot do 24/7 like what I did. My Acharya did, tapasya 24/7. Even he is in work, he is in tapasya. When he comes back, he sits in tapasya. But my Acharya said, my state was achieved because of my previous Janma tapasyas. I was doing tapasya for thousands of Janmas. So in this Janma, I got this, Vairagya. But you might not get it, but it's okay. Even if you cannot do this much effort, but try to give your best. Like a person who studies for IIT, after he gets into IIT, his hard work sometimes vanishes away. After he gets a job, he will be a alasi. For example, a person studying in IIT, he wants to get into Apple or Google or big company. After getting some high paying job, he gets a high paying job. After getting the job, right, suddenly we can see a change in his hard working nature. Because he has money, he wants to relax, let me eat, go out, girlfriend, drinking, all these things will come. His hard work will vanish. Don't be like that. In case of Almighty God, we must continue the hard work day in and day in and day out, day in and day out, day. Dive Deva, Pratidin, not leaving even a single day, single moment. So, my Acharya says, concentrate on both. Vidyamcha, okay, do your office work. Like I'm driving to office, I have to go to office, there are meetings. Like, I have to be in office in some 15 minutes. I have a meeting, I have to speak to my boss. I have to prepare for that. All these things are okay, but morning 4 o'clock to now it is suppose 7 o'clock. Morning 4 o'clock to 7 o'clock. Until the time you are leaving to office, you can focus on Almighty God. You give 30 minutes for other work, going to bathroom, take bath, all those things, but other than that you can give to Almighty God. So this is called Havishmadbir, most important shloka of Upanishad. I think Katha Upanishad is extremely secretive. My Acharya, yesterday I posted a Hindi video. My Acharya was telling this Upanishads, by reading these Upanishads, I have been reading Upanishads from my young age. So because of these, shlokas, I got Vairagya very early, my Acharya was telling. So I think really valid point by my Acharya. The problem is we do not listen or understand Upanishads like this in depth. When you understand in depth Upanishads, you will get back to Vedas and Almighty God. You will not waste your time in unnecessary arguments, idol worship, this, etc. I hope you understood. Thank you so much. Namaste. Om.